What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 47 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, man?
Not a lot. That's the problem.
Yeah.
As of recording, we haven't heard anything about our most upcoming series here, which would be Series 8, Season 15, something like that. Yeah, because January season is Season 14. This will be Season 15, but Series 8. And we haven't heard anything about that yet.
Which will probably happen
Should
tomorrow.
be over this weekend. Should be this weekend.
As always, we record this on Thursday afternoon, evening, sometime Thursday. Which we anticipated it sometime this weekend, and it just hasn't happened. So naturally, that means it's probably going to happen over the weekend, and then we're not going to be able to report on it until next week. So, that's cool.
Yeah.
But we're going to do a little bit of speculation today. Going over potential GS Cup stuff, because that could be the format that we see next month.
It's the one everyone's playing right now. Now that Players' Cup 3 is over, everyone's kind of migrating to this restricted format with all of these box legends.
Not only that, but it gives something else to do too. It's just like, all right, Series 7 has ran its course. There's nothing to do for the next 2 weeks. Why not work on this? This seems great. And, on top of that, we're just like us. We're on the same boat of, we don't really have anything else to do. We really don't want to play some more Series 7 for this Rumble this weekend.
Yeah, so it's like the next Rumble ended up being Showdowns on one of Showdown's legacy servers for GS Cup.
Because they have it up.
Yeah,
so
it's available to play on. That's what people have been playing on. And it also kind of helps tie into the Draft League, which the Draft League is essentially GS, except you only get one instead of two. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure if we got to draft 2 restricteds, all teams would just be super powerful and busted.
And honestly, I think with the way we did it, I don't know if there's really enough good restricted mods to have 2.
There's 28, and all of our groups ended up being 12 to 13 players.
So
we would have been fine with everyone would have had 2, but there would have been some crappy ones at the very end there.
Someone would have had to play with Calyrex. And Calyrex isn't
Calyrex is a decent support. It gets Trick Room and Aromatherapy and...
But when we're talking about restricted mons...
You want them to do something.
Yeah. Same with Necrozma or Kyurem. It's these ones that have other forms that make them good, not so great on their own.
Yeah.
So, I'm honestly extremely happy with how Draft League has gone so far. I know we've had a ton of people. Me personally, I've reached out to a ton of people just getting stuff around and ready for week 1 between you and Dro and Navier and just Evan and just all right, cool. I have 4 or 5 people I can go to every week to talk about stuff, to make sure my matchup is good, make sure I have multiple eyes on things, to make sure that I'm not missing something.
Yeah.
And if I am, okay, what is it and how can I beat it? Like something that came up this week. I kind of completely forgot Rangaroo was a thing.
Yeah.
Just oh, hey, there actually is a Trick Room mode. I should probably plan accordingly to that. Because originally it was just all right, well, I'm going to go fast. And that's going to be fine. And then I saw a Rangaroo. I'm actually, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm playing against Sand. Which was the one team I didn't want to see out week 1. Because I am the one team that has a bunch of rock weaknesses, but I also drafted to beat that when I saw it was a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
We'll be fine. But I'm not. I'm more solo styling this one. I'm not really trying to bounce it off of too many people. I think I've asked you. I think I asked Jiggly.
Oh, Navier and I spent. You and I basically built the entire team.
Yeah.
Then I went in. We picked my 6. And I'm all right, cool. I can go in and fill in moves. And then I'm all right, well, here's, just kind of pinpoint items here appropriately as needed. And I'm well, I kind of suck at the whole EVing things to make sure that things are right.
That's what I need to do still is my EVs.
And that's where Navir is excellent. I just send it to him. He's like, all right, what do we want to do? How do we live this? What do we need to do? I just send him Adam's team. He's like, okay, we know what we need to do. Let's figure this out. And so we just literally spent, like I said, probably an hour and a half of just punching in numbers and lining stuff up and making sure appropriate numbers are right. And, the Serena set that I was working on was evidently unoptimal, which I didn't realize because you can... Dude, it's real weird. Because you can make it especially defensive instead of jolly, and then you get extra EVs here because then this stat's the same and this stat's the same, but you're left over with extra EVs. I'm just like, I literally never would have thought of this in 100 years.
That's all I do anymore.
And now you're just like, yeah, it's super easy. Here you go.
Yeah, that's all I do anymore. Is like, okay, I need to hit this number. How many different ways can I hit this number? Okay.
Yeah, see, I did that. I'm just like, all right, I want to live this attack. I want to be able to do this much damage. Okay, I meet both of those criteria. Cool. I meet this speed tier. We're great. Everything lines up perfectly.
Just simple check boxes, but then you realize, oh, I could have just done this and been more bulky.
Yeah, and then Navir's like, we did it better.
Yeah, there's a better way. Yeah. Draft League's getting ready to start up and doing well. Matches should be underway. Videos for that probably won't be out for 2 weeks because we have to get them gathered up for week 1. And then I got to watch through them all, pick the ones I want people to do commentary on. And this first week's going to be rough because I have to explain to Swede and Jiggly and Evan, if he wants to do any of them, how
commentary
works, like how it needs to work, like what do they need, like what software they need, what do they need to do things and things like that. So it's going to be a little bit tougher for sure.
I'm excited to get them in on it.
Yeah.
I really am. Like, obviously, you and I have a dynamic. We've done this for 2.5 years or whatever together now. We've done this basically forever, is what it feels like. So, getting someone else on that path of really just honestly content creation. I mean, I know Sweet is streamed on and off forever. Yeah. Like, Evan is also doing content creation.
Yep.
So, like,
he's got stuff for YouTube all the time.
So now we're just basically shoving Jiggly down that path too and say, all right, here you go. Now you're involved in this.
He's like you. He's a good color commentator.
Yep.
Where Swede and Evan are more
play-by-plays,
analytical. Which I thought about pairing you and Evan up for some if I don't have time. But that'd be hard because you'd have to do them early in the morning on your time probably.
See, you say I'm color, but I definitely feel like I'm better at play-by-play because you can go more in depth with things than I can, I feel like.
I think you're misunderstanding what color commentator and what play-by-play and analyst are. You are more outgoing, more bubbly. You get more excited about things. So it's good for a play-by-play to be more color commentary than it is to be more down on the numbers, nitty-gritty, optimizing plays and things like that for an analyst side.
Huh. Sure.
I think you're misunderstanding what color commentary means.
Yes. See, I've always understood color commentary as the analytic side of it, of just adding in extra details.
Color commentary is the hype man.
Yeah,
they're the ones that get people excited.
Yeah, that's me.
They're the ones that shout out the play by. They're the ones that shout out what's happening at the time, the big moments, the excitement.
Yeah, I consider that the play-by-play.
Yeah, that's what that's color commentary.
Yeah, okay, cool.
It's color commentary and analyst. Analyst is the one with the stats.
See, I've always heard referred to as color commentary and play-by-play. Those are the two. So I'm just like.
Well, in this case, the play-by-play is going to be everything anyway, because we're going to see everything.
Yeah, exactly.
This is more where people study teams in Pokemon and know what to expect ahead of time.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
That is 100% you.
Evan is more like that as well. Sweet is kind of middle of the road. I believe we can push him either way, and he'd probably be fine.
Yeah, 100%.
But him and Jiggly are going to figure out whatever they need to do. Because I believe that's the pairing we're going to do with that. Evan, if he wants to do any, will probably be paired with you.
We'll make it work.
Yeah. Because you probably have more mornings off than I do. to where you could do the things with Evan and whatnot. Because I don't ever have a morning off anymore.
I have approximately 3 mornings.
Yeah, I barely have one.
Yeah.
Anyway, Draft League and stuff, GS Cup stuff aside, we've got other
This intro has gone derailed about 4 times.
No, this is fine because we need to pad out this episode because there's not anything to talk about.
So instead, you get to sit here and listen to Carl and I ramble for an hour and a half like normal. Except this time with less analytical details of things.
No, we'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Instead, we're going to shift gears and slow it down and go back to the Players' Cup for a sweet tournament report by Karibo.
Yeah, Karibo came in chat today. You and I were streaming, and Karibo jumps in and says, "Hey, my team report's done." I'm like, didn't even know you're writing one, so that gives us something to talk about today.
I believe he is a guaranteed lock.
I would be very surprised if he's not.
When I was counting out from the results, there was 113 known Japanese and Chinese, Korean, Asian-speaking country players. So if even half of them are not allowed to play in the bracket stage, that's more than enough to get him in at 267.
Well, not only that, but I guarantee there's other regions of forums above him and the 13 spots above him that would be guaranteed slots.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say he's good.
Yeah, he's almost 100% for a lock. But his team here is super cool. He's got 2 parts of the Nut Core with Urshifu and Thunderous, which I don't know if this is a support Thunderous or a physical Thunderous. It looks like a physical Thunderous.
If I was to guess, we'll figure that out down below.
I hope so. But I haven't read it, and I didn't want to ruin anything.
Yeah, we're literally going at this completely blind, because who needs to do things with prep work?
To pair along with that, we have Cresselia to pair with this Garchomp. We get to do Disquake stuff, so that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Disquake
something I
is
was high on before I just figured out I wasn't going to be able to play it all. Disquake's really cool, so we have Cresselia to pair along with that as well. Urshifu we talked about. Choice Band, probably the normal Dark Urshifu set. This could be Water Urshifu, though. We don't know until we scroll down. Shukaberry Heatran. That's just common Heatran, I think, anymore.
I would be very surprised.
It's either Shuka or Focus Sash.
Honestly, it feels like historically, Heatran's been air balloon. Years and years and years and years and years ago, before I actually played, my brother and I got on Showdown and just played random battles in different formats together, and we would go to Smogan and just input sets over, and that would be our team. Literally zero work on anything, just yeah, this looks cool, let's play that here. And that was our team building process.
Yeah.
And the one that I got by every time was Air Balloon Heatran. He would always switch in on it, and I go, why didn't that work? And then click it again.
Carter being Carter, let's go again.
I don't understand what's wrong.
Let's get him again. Yeah.
And then I'd lose.
Yeah. And then we have this awesome pairing of Ninetales Garchomp is another awesome lead here. Notably, Ninetales gets Ice Shard to proc, to threaten a weakness policy on this Garchomp, so people may play around that differently, thinking that it might be a weakness policy Garchomp, when in fact you are just Life Orb and you just blow them up and Blizzard them to death. Honestly,
seeing Ninetales plus Garchomp, that's the immediate thought is, alright, this is Ice Shard plus weakness policy, get you.
Yeah, and the same thing works with Thunderous.
Yep.
And that's just the threat of, is there a weakness policy here? I don't want to hit it with a super effective attack. It does a lot for this format because almost everything can run weakness policy.
Mm-hmm.
So you always have to play around not getting got. But, yeah, moving into the actual, looking of this thing. Looking through here, like I said, Ninetales, this is pretty standard. Blizzard, Moonblast, Aurora, this is the first draft. I'm not sure what this does. If this is just we just didn't want to waste the EVs and we just want to put them somewhere to get the point.
We could have just been 252, 252, 4, but taking taking those 8 out of special attack to put in 4 defenses. But we're Sash, so we don't really care.
That's what I'm I don't know what this does. Apparently, Ninetales was the core. Ninetales was the starting point. I'm not. Yeah, it's one of his favorite Pokemon.
Big strength or its ability snowboarding and the unique ice fairy typing. Its offensive stats aren't the best. It allows to threaten very relevant Pokemon such as Rillaboom, Landorus, Urshifu. Yeah, it makes complete sense. Like, we have talked historically on the podcast, on laddering, that there's so much ice coverage running around that it makes things such as, like, Dragonite and Garchomp way harder to play because you have threats like Rillaboom, Landorus, and Urshifu that are, Rillaboom and Landorus that are hurt heavily by these, but are still able to dominate despite them. So adding in extra weaknesses just makes it harder to capitalize on it.
Like, playing Rillaboom is fine, but you don't want to play Rillaboom and Garchomp or Rillaboom and Landorus.
Yeah.
Like, you play one, but you can't play both. Because they're...
Well, you say that,
double,
but
it's double
I have definitely ran into my fair share of Rillaboom Landoruses, and it made Charizard sad.
Which, it's just like a big non-bow as it is.
Yeah.
Unless you're just spamming Rock Slide. Garchomp here, Life Orb, Rough Skin. I love having Rough Skin on Garchomps over just trying to be Sandveil, just because weather's such a hard thing to keep up anymore.
It really is. And honestly, that's one thing I don't think we've actually talked about on anywhere, is just like how much of a difference this generation has been because of the dominance of the effects of weather. Like the fact that you can change it with a single attack.
Like, you don't have to. You're not dedicated to running a setter. You're not dedicated to running Sunny Day or Rain Dance or things like that.
But you can.
Yeah, you still can.
And that came up during one of my matches when I was playing the last couple for Players Cup, which I think I talked about last week. Did we? I don't know.
Probably a little bit.
But I had a game where Whimsicott set Sun so Rhyperior can live a Muddy Day. Just like, sure, why not? Yeah. It was good, and it won me it was the play to make because it won me the game because it triggered my weakness policy, which I then got to Oko them back.
Yeah.
So yeah, having Rough Skin is good because there's so much physical attackers right now in the format too, especially with something like Water Urshifu. If you get a Surging Strikes into this, that's a lot of damage.
You're just going to take a bunch of damage back from Rough Skin.
You get hit once, whatever it was just lost their sash if they had it. Which, in the case of Urshifu's, is super relevant.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Looking through this Garchomp set, Swords Dance, Rock Slide, Earthquake, Protect means we don't have a Dragon-type move at all.
Darn.
Like,
you and I have talked about it. Garchomp doesn't really need it. There's too many fairies running around.
There's too many fairies. There's so much Defiant, like, competitive. You don't want to be dropping stats, really. You want to be boosting your own.
Yep.
So, not having the Dragon-type move here is fine. And he said, like I said here, he ended up foregoing a Dragon-type move in favor of Swords Dance, so you could take advantage of Aurora Veil and just counter-intimidate better.
Yep.
Which is fine. Next up here is the Steel-type to finish the Fantasy Core with Celesteela. I think this ended up being Heatran later on.
Yeah, I believe this got cut.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a couple things that got changed. See, we have originally Celesteela here, followed by Cress.
And then I think Entei. Yep.
Yeah, Entei didn't make the final team.
And then
Grimmsnarl did not make the final team. So let's see how we got from point A to point B.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're just like looking at here. Looks like lacking damage on the special side, didn't function in front of an opposing Celesteela, which is why we have the Heatran. And wanted electric coverage, it looks like.
Cresselia felt a little too easy to ignore. Yeah, okay, so this makes perfect sense. So we keep Ninetales and Garchomp and
Cresselia.
Perfect combination. Like those three.
Cresselia is just like bulky, immune to Earthquake.
Yeah, this is. I actually ran into a super similar set of this Cresselia set. I think I was streaming my Players Cup matches, and they just like double Calm Mind into store power.
Oh, I bet that.
I'm just like,
That was taking out everything.
Worst part is when they brought it out, I'm like, man, I really hope this isn't Calm Mind Store Power.
Why do you say anything?
I'm like, I really hope they set Trick Room here. And then they click Calm Mind. I'm like, oh no, I'm dead.
Why do you say anything ever?
But like, seriously.
So, on to the Pokemon that changed here. Celesteela became Heatran.
Well, not only Celesteela, but also Entei.
Like, Entei also
We basically just took those two and just mashed them together.
Yeah, like, this fits, had our fire coverage, and it's our steel coverage, and we just wanted both. Big answer to Glastrier, which we didn't have before, I feel like, without being Entei. Like, Entei is like the only one, and Entei still gets decently dealt with.
I believe his Entei was also Assault Vest, so you can't Willow it.
You have to Sacred Fire it.
Yep, which, if it's weakness policy, you're then triggering.
Exactly.
So it's just like...
It's a lose-lose situation.
You don't accomplish anything, because that's the way you play around Heatran. I mean, Glastrier. You either deal with it immediately by one-shotting
blowing it up, which
is very hard.
It's almost impossible.
We'll talk about it.
Almost.
Or you completely ignore it. You mitigate it somehow with either Intimidate or...
Incineroar is a great example of being able to just cycle over and over in front of
it. With either Intimidate or Burn, and then just bulk up in front of it to prevent it from doing anything, and then when its Dynamax is over, take it out.
Yeah.
That's honestly the best answer I've come up to it.
Yeah, is keep it from getting KOs and
immediately destroy it, completely ignore it. Those are your two options.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. It's like, don't hit it or blow it up.
And if you blow it up, you gotta make sure you blow it up.
Yeah. So the big thing here is apparently with Shuka we survive Max Quake from Glastrier from an unboosted Max Quake. So it's like, that's expected. That's normal. It's the same. The Shuka Berry can do the same thing for Metagross, as long as they're not boosted. Max Flare apparently enables... Oh, I didn't realize Cresselia had Moonlight on it.
Yep.
So it's even better.
I thought Moonlight was better in Rain.
No. Sun.
No, Synthesis is better in Sun. Moonlight's better in Rain.
No. Clear skies. No clouds. Complete access to the moon.
But Sun...
Just because it is sun doesn't mean there's sun shining. It just means that it's clear
stupid.
skies.
That logic is stupid.
No, that's just how.
Because they're polar opposites.
That's night and day.
Exactly.
That's not what sun means.
It does now.
No.
Look, man, it made sense in my head.
It's morning sun and moonlight both work off the sun.
Oh, I forgot there's morning sun too.
And synthesis. Like, a lot of them work better.
See, morning sun and moonlight are literal opposites.
But they both do the same thing.
But
they just wanted one that was a fairy type and wanted one for whatever. I think morning sun's normal type.
Moonlight's fairy type?
Uh-huh.
Weird.
Anyway, this is a dark Urshifu. This is the standard Urshifu set. Yeah, this is just standard Urshifu.
If you're not Choice Band here, Focus Sash. But we need the Focus Sash for Ninetales, so it makes sense to be Choice Band here. I feel like that's
okay,
pretty
so this
obvious.
is support Thundurus. Cool. This is support Special Thundurus.
Sick. Which, like you said in Team Preview, it could have been offensive, and that would have been fine.
Like even seeing it just with, even knowing the item with safety goggles, it's just like, this could be still physical.
Yep. Especially after commenting about how he wanted more damage output on this. I'm really surprised that it wasn't offensive Thundurus. But
adding Heatran and Urshifu definitely solved a lot of those problems.
For sure. For sure.
Having special Thundurus instead of physical Thundurus here was important as well. Looks like I'm surprised. Why are we running goggles here? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Probably Venu.
Like, that's like the only thing I think of. It's like Venu Amoongus. Because you ignore the sleep powder because they're going to sleep powder you. You're the fastest thing compared to them. And then you just taunt them. But why does that matter if we have Prankster?
Okay, one more time. I was reading about Moonlight.
Put it down.
I was reading about Moonlight because it's weird.
Safety goggles with Prankster Taunt.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have goggles
Rage Powder.
from Among Us?
It's relevant.
That's the only one.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
You have Sleep Powder because you could want to taunt whatever's next to it, like the Torkoal. If you have Torkoal Venusaur out, there is a non-zero chance that they're just trying to put both of your mons to sleep. So going for a taunt on the Torkoal prevents it from yawning you, while also making them waste their turn. Honestly, I think the Venusaur sets that are just lol put you to sleep is nonsense. I don't think that's how you want to play Sun, which that's a lesson for another day.
Going through the rest of this for specifically this Thundurus, like having Taunt also stops Will-O-Wisp on all your other Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
You could also just like bait a Will-O-Wisp a lot of the time because everyone expects you to be physical.
I opted for safety goggles because as I was testing on Showdown, I found myself encountering a lot of Amoonguss.
Which is funny because like every match I saw from Players Cup, there was like 0 Amoonguss. Like if they were playing Amoonguss, they usually just played it next to Porygon.
Incidentally, this proved to be an even better choice of Thundurus, as it boosted survivability under frequent hail or sandstorms being set by teammates.
That's nice.
That's actually a good reason.
That's a good reason. The putting it on there because I saw a bunch of Amoonguss in testing. If you were testing on Showdown, it's just laddering on PC3 is a whole different beast.
Oh, they're completely different.
I wouldn't make gut decisions like that on Showdown testing.
To be fair, though, when you're pairing it with Alolan Ninetales, and you're being able to set sand with Garchomp.
Garchomp and I think that's it. I think Garchomp.
I believe it's just Garchomp.
Garchomp can set weather.
Because
Heatran sets sun.
Yep.
Cresselia can't set weather.
Nope.
And you can't set weather. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just Heatran and Garchomp and Ninetales.
Ninetales, obviously. Which I don't know why you'd ever want to change it from Blizzard or Sand. I mean, like Sun for Moonlight and Cresselia is cute, but a lot of the times you don't want to be setting Sun for anybody.
It boosts your damage output from exactly Heatran. That's the best I got, man. So, rounding this out, Ninetales is great, man. I'm actually really excited to be able to play with it.
Yeah, you're going to be playing this one, and then I think...
I got a bunch of teams lined up this week.
You have CJL's team, which is the Colossal Cradilly team.
Sick.
And then...
Which I'm actually really excited about because you've played a bunch of it, and...
It's great.
A bunch of iterations of it, and I've watched you play a bunch of it, but I haven't got to myself.
Cradilly is one of my favorite Pokemon. Cradilly is one of my favorite Pokemon to begin with, and being able to play with it in this format was just cute. I loved it. I wanted to find time to play it, but I just couldn't. And then I think you're playing Rose team.
Yes, I will definitely be playing his.
So I think those 3 are going to be next week. I think we might just stick with that. With how many teams we've been getting here, especially around PC3 time, and with the new series getting ready to start up, I feel like we're going to have to do like 3 teams a week, or add a 4th day. One of the 2. Because we're getting so many teams. I had to figure out how to put 3 teams together for this week because I had 3 teams lined up or 4 teams lined up. I'm just like, I can't play all these guys at the same time. I ended up playing a horse team, which was cool. I had Cresselia on it as well. Then there was... What was that? The Nut Core with Metagross. And then Saturday's episode is Jiggly's team with Jigglypuff. Which
Sick.
that one's great.
I'm upset that you stole that one from me too. But.
That one's hilarious. That one's gonna be a blast when it's already live, so it'll be on the YouTube channel somewhere. So yeah, he says like going through this is like really fun. Ninetales is a fake out and bait and target most of the time. Landorus and Urshifu matchups are a little bit problematic if they have speed control, which is understandable. Like, you outspeed Urshifu and Landorus, like, normally AV Landorus might survive a Blizzard if it goes big in front of you, and then just turn around and blow you up with a Max Rockfall. But outside of that, I don't think it's a big problem. Yeah, Heatran Cresselia comes just chalk. was a big one. It was Chalk was what? Cresselia, Heatran, Amoonguss. What's the L?
Landorus.
Landorus, and what's the K?
Mega Kinga.
Mega Kinga. And then whatever your 6th one wanted to be.
Chomp doesn't sound nearly as good as Chalk.
Yeah.
So it's just
Chomp.
Later iterations cut Kanga for Kartana, so it's still Chalk.
Which you can build that.
You can. I don't know how good it's right now in the format, but
It's
can
probably
play
not. But it depends on whatever you fit in that 6th slot, probably.
There was a bunch of iterations back in the day. That's way before my time though. So, I believe there was a bunch of teams that fit like a second Mega in there when Kanga wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
Which Kanga kind of fell out of favor when Mawile got really popular because Intimidate was kind of a big deal. Plus, Huge Power just punched it to death. Like Huge Power Sucker Punch was real good.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about that today. Mawile's base stats are awful.
Oh yeah,
real bad.
That's bad. Mawile's real bad.
As a Mega, its base stats are 480.
Yeah. Let me tell you, as the person who drafted Steel for Monotype and I tried to use Mawile, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Like it has Intimidate, and that's cool.
That's it.
That's it. That's all it's good for. Intimidate and just protect. That's all you can do.
Because like you can't even reasonably get it in and out of battle because it's so frail.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Okay, so that's the end of that. Which that'll be the rental code for all of that will be on the laddering video when that comes out. Moving away from Players Cup and looking towards GS Cup.
Yeah, this one's gonna be sweet.
So we've got a bunch of like just different builds here. I've just been like EVs and whatnot don't really matter. It was more just looking at moves and like potential items.
It was really just okay. These Pokemon are capable of doing how many different things, and of those things, which of them are good?
Yveltal seems to be the most flexible.
Yveltal's real good, man. As someone who has them in Draft League,
yeah, trust me, I know.
one of the real reasons I have Yveltal so high on my draft board, and you did too, was its flexibility of what it can do.
Yep,
it can apply physical offensive pressure. It can apply special offensive pressure. It can apply support. Like it can just be a pure distraction of just like, hey,
look at me.
I can hit you really hard. Do you really want to do that right now?
Yeah.
JK LOL, here's my tailwind.
Yeah. Like
also, thanks for actually hitting me really hard. Here's my weakness policy. Roost you, blow you up next turn.
Yeah. Just bang right off the bat. So we have 3 sets here for Yveltal. One's being special weakness policy with Tailwind as like you set up Tailwind because they don't want to hit you, and then you just go big in front of them. Or you can have like just random like fake out, pair with it, or wide guard, which I feel like wide guard is going to be very popular in the GS Cup meta. There's a lot of moves that aren't played right now that are going to be much popular.
See, talking about specifically like wide guard, you have all the Calyrex forms which hit both opponents. You have like
the weather guys.
Yeah, you have Heat Wave from Yveltal. You have
Precipice Blades, Origin Pulse, Water Spout,
Dazzling Beam, Dazzling Gleam. Does Zacian have anything?
No, Zacian. Zacian gets Rock Slide.
Yeah, you technically could Rock Slide or Earthquake.
I think you'd rather probably run Crunch or Ice Fang in that slot.
Yeah, probably, but it's an option.
Ice Fang from Groudon would be a good idea.
Like, honestly, Wide Guard's not the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah, Wide Guard's the one, Grass Knot's another one that gets popular.
Like, Expanding Force, like, that's another thing that you can just... No, stop it.
Stop it. I have the wall.
Something that was kind of niche there in, like, Series 6... When Talonflame was really popular, it was Quick Guard.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, thanks for your fake out, idiot. I'm actually going to get to do my thing regardless.
Yeah.
Because, like, that was the big thing of countering Talonflame was you just clap it, break it, sash, now it's no longer priority. Well, if they just Quick Guard you, well, don't actually get to punch it.
Yeah. Which it protected both, didn't it? It protected both
yeah.
So you still get to do stuff even if they fake out the other guy.
Yep.
So this first one's Oblivion Wing, Dark Pulse, Heat Wave, Tailwind, just special weakness policy, Yveltal.
This is basically all the good offensive special pressure that it has is like
Yeah.
like looking at potential moves that it could have. Yeah, obviously Oblivion Wing because that move is actually busted
Oh, yeah. It's 75% recovery. From
on a base 80 move.
Yeah. Base 80 recovers 75% of damage dealt. Yeah, this move's busted.
Plus stab. So, base 120 move with recovery. Why would you play Roost when you can just also smack them?
Exactly.
It's like Roost, except better.
Which, sometimes the Roost is important because you do remove the flying type, which can help you dodge super effective hits and whatnot later on down the line. Which we have a Roost set coming up.
Funny enough, Roosting actually gives you another weakness because now you're weak to fighting.
It changes them around.
It does. It eliminates like 3.
It eliminates electric, ice, rock, but then you're weak to fighting.
Yeah. So, and like, who's gonna close combat into Veltal when you could just rock slide it?
Exactly. Exactly. Which is why the reasoning of Roost being actually like decent to have as an option for some time.
But like, the big brain play is to always anticipate the Roost and always close combat it. It's still gonna be a neutral hit, but if you read it right,
you'll get one.
Then you're a genius.
The next Yveltal set is this is a more support set with Snarl and Roost and Tailwind, and then we just slap Dark Pulse because it's the strongest move.
I actually don't like Dark Pulse here. I would rather have Foul Play.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is like against like opposing Zacians, Snarl's not going to do anything. And like, granted, you're probably not standing against.
I'm about to say you're not
Zacian
staying
anyway.
against Zacian no matter what because it just play roughs you and kills you.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be in against Zacian, period.
But a +1 foul play with your Dark Aura boost it would do a good chunk to basically anything. You also could play Sucker Punch in that slot too. Basically, just any good offensive Dark move I feel like is fine.
Yeah.
I like Sucker Punch because it has priority. I like Foul Play because it's still a physical offensive move that doesn't rely on your minus attack nature.
Yeah, whichever one you like end up playing with is fine. This one ended up being minus attack plus special defense. You could honestly just be plus special defense minus special attack and do Sucker Punch as well. It goes back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It depends on like what you want to do. Like,
it almost has to be a dark move in that slot though. Like,
honestly, you don't need Snarl to do a ton of damage. You just look at Incineroar. Perfect example. You're not using Snarl because it's a stab dark move. You're using Snarl because it hits both of them and also loses a special attack.
Exactly. The last set here for Yveltal is the physical set with Life Orb. I feel like this one is probably going to be less common because of just like what the special set offers and what the support set offers.
That being said, man, Yveltal's move pool is real deep.
Oh, it's deep. You get Phantom Force, Dual Wing Beat, and Sucker Punch for physical coverage.
Granted, Dual Wing Beat's really cute. Like, Dual Wing Beat's great with Life Orb. If you're weakness policy and get real cute, you could be acrobatics, though.
Yeah, the reason I picked Dual Wing Beat is because it's not contingent on losing my item, and it's 130 for everything.
Exactly, and that's the big thing. Is like, if you're specifically weakness policy, acrobatics is great.
Yeah.
But honestly, Dual Wing Beat's going to be better 99% of the time.
Plus, you get it on Focus Sash.
True. Which is also relevant in a format where you could see a bunch of Urshifu still.
Yep.
Or Calirexes, which we'll talk about later. But
yeah, there's Calirexes coming up. This one's fun because I got to pair Life Orb with Roost.
Yep. Adorable.
So you just get to do your Life Orb damage, but then you just get to heal it back up with Roost.
And like what's great about this is they could like anticipate the Tailwind and taunt you, and you're like, JK, LOL, Phantom Force you next turn.
God. You want to talk about Xerneas while we're here? Just like...
Yeah, we'll
talk about XY together. XYZ.
So, Xerneas does one thing. It does Power Herb, Geomancy, blow you up.
Yeah, that's about what it always does. It's just like, it wants to Geomancy, and having access to Power Herb means you just get to do that in one turn.
Granted, this set that is on screen, I'm assuming you're going to throw this up.
I'm going to have mock-ups.
We'll figure this out. Yeah. This EV spread and these move pools are literal sets I took off of Pikalytics for 2019 Ultra Series. So these are known spreads that were good then, but what's good then doesn't mean it's good now. Yeah. Obviously, things are going to change. Things are going to need to adapt. But this is still just a tested and true set that a lot of people played back then. So
Yep. The big scary thing for Xerneas is Zacian, specifically because Crowned Zacian is Steel type. It has Behemoth Blade. So if you like Geomancy turn 1 and then go big and try to do something with that, Behemoth Blade is 100% going to OHKO you every time.
Okay, good job. You're dead, idiot.
Yeah. So Xerneas probably isn't going to be a Dynamax target on teams. It is more going to be just like Geomancy.
Dazzling Flame you, yeah. And honestly, that's what made it good back in the day, was spread damage and being able to pick up a bunch of KOs on top of your Fairy Aura plus your +2 Geomancy to do everything you need to. It's fine.
You get screens on it. You
get both screens?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yep, you get both screens if you wanted to do that. Geomancy, Dazzling Gleam, screen. Flash
honestly,
Cannon's an option.
Close Combat's an option?
Yeah. Apparently. There's a lot of physical moves on Xerneas as well, on Xerneas' side. Its attack and special attack are equal too.
He gets Hornleech. That's actually adorable.
The problem there is Geomancy doesn't boost your attack.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you could just, again, do the JKLOL thing and just smack them. Like,
yeah,
hey,
get Close Combat, Hornleech, and I think you can play rough. Yeah, you
okay,
can play rough.
Cool. Crass, not you. Or just...
Rock Slide. Oh, you get Thunderwave.
Support Xerneas coming in clutch.
I believe you get Thunderwave. Thunderwave would be cool.
You should. Do we get... You get Misty Explosion. Pair it next to Feeny and then blow up.
Blow them up.
It's Fairy Aura boosted Misty Explosion, Carl.
Yeah. The last Pokemon here for Gen 6 here, Zygarde, specifically Zygarde Complete. This thing is scary. I have seen many a games where Zygarde just sits there and spams Coil forever until you get it to where it's in complete form, and then it turns around and starts blowing you up. Honestly,
I don't know if I've ever seen Zygarde played.
It is very popular now because Gigantamax. So what's cool is when you hit the Power Construct trigger for HP, you heal back up. So if you're big form, you just essentially just heal back up whatever your HP, whatever HP needs to be for Zygarde Complete to be that's HP stat.
Which so I'm looking insane. Here at Pikalytics, and I mean it was real uncommon. It's on like less than 1% of teams as a restricted one. But
I mean, as a Pokemon that has 4 times weakness to Ice.
Granted, this was also in 19.
Yeah.
When you had things like Incineroar and Landorus is 2 of the best things you could be playing, which makes this thing a little worse because
Intimidate.
But at the same time, like you sit there and spam Coil. And then you do your thing.
Too bad this thing doesn't get Belly Drum.
It gets stop it! You stop it right now! No.
We get to Belly Drum and then Trigger and then we could.
But what's super cool about Zygarde? It has 3 signature moves.
Yeah.
Why?
Notably, it got the other one after this became a thing. After Complete became a thing. Its original ones were, I believe the other original one was 1,000 Arrows, or 1,000 Waves or something like that. One of them, it was a ground type move because it wasn't Core Enforcer. I don't think it was. It might have been.
The only reason I know Core Enforcer is a thing is because I was watching Shenanigans stream and he picked up a TM of it because it was a randomizer. It's like,
okay.
I actually have no idea what this move is, so I had to go look it up.
Well, there you go. For people that may not know, it's 100 power, 100 accuracy. Nullifies the foe's ability if the foe moves first. I believe this is a spread move. It hits 2
It is.
Okay.
Can confirm it hits both. But what's super sweet is like it nullifies their abilities. So if they're reliant on Swift Swim or something like that,
both have to move first. Or
so it will hit both, and anything that moved before it loses its ability.
Okay.
So
that's cute.
Yeah. So you have a Venusaur sitting on the other side. Guess what, idiot? Now you lost your attack. You lost your chlorophyll.
You don't have chlorophyll, and now I'm gonna beat you up with my 1,000 arrows. Notable things against Breaking Swipe.
Sick.
This set here is Coil, 1,000 Arrows, Breaking Swipe, Glare. It's more of just like I'm going to sit here and stall until you trigger Power Construct, and then I'm going to Dynamax, and then I have a 130 base Dragon, and I believe 1,000 Arrows is also a 130 base ground.
Why Coil over Dragon Dance?
Coil specifically for attack and defense.
Just not worried about the speed?
Like you said, if you wanted to do other things, you probably would rather have Coil. But Core Enforcer.
What is our attack and special attack look like?
Attack is 100 and special attack is 91.
So honestly, not too big of a difference.
Yeah, you can play physical or special.
Yeah, that seems fine. Probably, I've also seen, looking at, I think it was during PC2, they did a GS Cup battle, and they had Zygarde on screen. I could be wrong about this. I could just be blowing smoke.
No, I'm pretty sure they have one.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Zygarde was Assault Vest there, and just like Dynamax and then punched them.
You can do that too.
Oh, that's adorable. So that is something else you could do, and just like Grass Knot, high horsepower, Iron. This thing has a bunch of moves that are viable on it.
I think over high horsepower, you'd still want to have 1,000 arrows.
Probably just because they are 100% accurate compared to 95.
Like they're 100% and they have extra things. Like 1,000 waves keeps opponents from switching out, so they're locked in. Which this could be a cool Perish Trap locker.
No one would anticipate it. You just leave Polytoad Zygarde and you go Perish Song Trap you.
Or Gigantamax Lapras and just blow a couple people up and just they have 3 Pokemon. Okay, I'm just gonna lock you with 1,000 waves. I'm gonna swap out now. Bye. Because I don't think you have to stay on the field for 1,000 waves.
Dude, I learned this as an attack today, so I don't know anything about it.
It doesn't say. I'm not sure though. Get Scorching Sands.
That's cool.
Moving from Gen 6 to probably the more powerful Pokemon on this format is Gen 3, the more powerful pair.
So, obviously Kyogre's really good.
Yeah.
Kyogre has been good for quite a while. I didn't play a lot in 19, but what I did play, I know Kyogre was really popular. You could do a bunch of different things with it. One of the more popular ones was you paired it with Tornadus for Tailwind, and then you just have Choice Specs Kyogre and just water spout people to death.
Clapping.
And it was really good. Because not only do you have Tailwind, but Tornadus also gets taunt, so you can't be put to sleep. There's a bunch of different things that Tornadus did, on top of setting Rain with Kyogre, so you can then just hit Hurricanes.
Yeah.
And that's also just good. So
This set here is the spec set. Ice Beam, Origin Pulse, Thunder, and Water Spout.
Originally we were going to talk about Scarf, which was also extremely popular. But Scarf was popular back then because you didn't have things like Dragapult.
The speed creep is just insane right now, right?
Yeah, the fact that back then Kyogre hit 213 with Scarf, and that was good.
That was fast, yeah.
That was the number to beat.
Lando's 235 with Scarf, so it's you're just a little bit slower than Lando back then.
35?
I think it's 235 because it's it's an odd number.
For some reason, I thought I misinterpreted what you said. I thought you said Landorus was slower than Kyogre. I'm
no, you get up to 235.
Carl, that's not how numbers work.
Yep, you get up to 235. So,
so not only was Choice Specs still an option, and just Tailwind, Choice Specs blow people up that way. You also have, because Dynamax is now a thing, you just Life Orb and just Dynamax your Kyogre and blow people up. Because
you can, yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but Kyogre has a base 160 special defense. Is that right?
140. If you don't put any stats in, it's 160 after IVs.
See, I was close. I was actually close. We were, again, this is one of the things that I was prepping for Draft League this week because Adam has it and just good Lord, why is this thing so bulky?
Because it is the water whale. It's the pink water whale.
I hope and pray that Adam has a pink one.
I hope so too. I would like to see that.
I love shiny Kyogre. It is so pretty.
which the moveset doesn't change. Like,
That's the thing.
Origin Pulse, Ice Beam, Thunder, if you're Life Orb, are probably the ones you want to have the most often. You kind of drop Water Spout because Life Orb, Water Spout's a non-bow.
And, like, you're not fast. Like, 142 is...
It's as fast
fine.
as the Specs version.
Yeah, but with Specs, you also have Tailwind.
Usually you'll probably have Tailwind with Tailwind.
Yeah, you could have it with both. And that's the thing, is like, how early do you want to burn your Dynamax? Honestly, I like preserving it for whatever my second restricted is in the back and then blowing you up.
Which Kyogre does that too.
Yeah, it's great.
On the opposite side of Kyogre, Groudon does one thing, and it does one thing really well.
Is it smack Zacian around?
Yeah. I'm a set Sun, and I'm going to blow up that Zacian, because Zacian has Ice Fang, and that's the only thing I have to worry about.
Can we live in Ice Fang?
I believe so. If you literally go Groudon, max it, blow them up.
Oh, I wonder if you have to max to live it.
We can find out real quick.
Yeah, let's do the calc live. Who needs to prep things when we can do it live?
There's a special attacking Groudon set.
Yeah, I played it back in the day. It was not good.
I didn't think it would be.
But you got to play Solar Beam, and it was great.
So, base stat here's...
You need to change it, because that's the regular Zacian.
I know. That's what I'm fixing the stats for.
But it's still Mono Fairy.
You can fix that too.
Oh.
You can fix everything here.
Okay, do the thing.
So we go Steel, Fairy. Because the Fairy typing doesn't affect ground at all. I need the base stats on Zacian, Crown, 170.
Good lord. That's not fair. Like, actually not fair.
115, 115, 148. So it's only its speed and its attack go change, right? The HP doesn't change? HP doesn't change. So it's attack and speed go up. And then Rusted Sword with Intrepid Sword gives it a +1, right?
Yes.
And then we do Ice Fang.
You need to change to Adamant as well.
Yeah. Boop.
252. Cool. We don't even need it.
Don't even have to do a thing. We don't even have Dynamax.
Yeah, and then you just... what if they're 252 HP?
They will never be 252 HP.
I'm just saying, what if they are? It doesn't Oko. See? Alright, Zacian players, here's the counter. Don't be max speed, be max HP so you can live one hit from Groudon. And then,
Hope it's not. Hope it doesn't. Hope the Groudon doesn't carry Life Orb.
or that they max in front of you, because max would also be bad.
Yeah.
Because, mind you, Precipice Blades is spread. So, it's doing 99% as a spread attack.
Yeah, Groudon is the answer to Zacian. This is the check. Like, Sun teams are going to be busted. So you're going to have you're going to have Sun teams, you're going to have Kyogre teams.
The big thing you need to worry about is switching Groudon in on Zacian, because you still are taking 85% max.
Oh, no, Groudon's the lead 100%. Groudon's always the lead. Because of the fact it's at Sun.
Well, the thing is like, you can also, like, be in a game situation where Groudon's not on the field when Zacian comes out. Like, that is you can't have a true statement of, this is always going to be the situation, because they don't always lead what you anticipate.
Well, no, what I'm saying is Groudon's always the lead because it's the Sun team.
Yeah, but if they have, like, Kyogre Zacian, and they lead Kyogre to get their rain up, okay,
you're going to get yours up after that because you're slower. Because all the Kyogres are trying to be fast.
True.
You have Sun every time.
Or they switch in Kyogre. And obviously you don't want to stay in on an Origin Pulse.
But I've already picked up my KO.
Maybe.
If they swap in Kyogre still takes a ton.
Kyogre's not dead, though.
No, but then we could just swap out and whatever. Like, if they swap Zacian out to avoid it, cool, I don't need Groudon on the field anymore. Groudon's always the lead, because that's how the Sun team works. It's always Groudon Venusaur. Almost every time, that's going to be the most powerful lead you have on your team.
Dude, that lead does stop a lot.
It covers almost everything.
Venusaur's really good, man. That's what you need to
Venusaur
know.
and Sun's really good. Let's be honest. Venusaur having chlorophyll is what made it really good.
Yep. One of the real reasons I played it back in the day.
This Groudon's gonna be the one you're out to keep an eye out for. Its item can be whatever.
Big Life Orb, Assault Vest. Assault Vest does make it where you can take more hits from Kyogre.
I'm actually interested in like what
Get that special attack out of there, or that special defense out of there.
what this does.
Probably a little more.
I'm interested in this. On what this does from Kyogre.
One more.
Oh, one more. Got me distracted.
And we want Rain up.
Well, we're gonna have Sun up because they're gonna be faster. So there's
Yeah,
goes first.
set Rain.
Rain, we're gonna die anyway.
No, you could Rain Dance with your thing.
Um,
Yeah. Oh.
yeah, like we have to have Sun up. Like that's the thing is like if they rain dance with Tornadus, we're just in trouble.
By trouble, you mean dead?
Yeah, but like if we get our Sun up and they don't have Tornadus, like with rain dance,
Yeah.
we take 2 as not even Dynamax. I think we survive as if we Dynamax, and we have the option to Oko back. We can Oko it back.
Yeah, doubling into the Kyogre can pick up the
We'll
KO.
definitely, we'll 100% pick it up, and you might pick it up without even doubling into it at all.
That's the big thing. Is like one of the real reasons I loved Groudon Kyogre. I actually played double weather. I played Kyogre, Groudon, Venusaur back in the day. Was because if they have their own Groudon, Venusaur is not great.
Oh.
Yeah, Thunder Punch just punches them.
Okay, noted. You can pick it up.
Yeah.
If they go water spout and don't go big in front of you, you just.
What if they
up.
do go big? Like, obviously, we're not picking up the KO then, but they're still not picking up the KO on us. That's the best part.
So if they're doing that, then it's like whatever. It's like if they go big in front of us, they don't pick up the KO on us. So that's good.
Venusaur is base 80 speed,
Yes.
so we can spec our Groudon to be faster than Venusaur, so we can reset the sun with our max flare, so then Venusaur's faster the next turn.
Correct.
Got it.
Which, funny enough, base speed Groudon at 31 IVs is 110. You can spec your Venusaur to get to 107, which will outspeed Dragapult most of the time.
Yeah,
Which most of the time you want to be faster anyway, but like 107 is the minimum.
I think the big thing is you want to be able to outspeed Kyogre under Tailwind, which is fast.
We can't.
Yeah, you shouldn't actually be able to.
You can't without being plus speed.
I mean, on
Venusaur, yeah. No, you can't without being plus speed.
and them not being plus speed.
Yeah, like which most of the time they're not going to be.
Even if you are timid, that's not great. You do outspeed it,
That's what I'm saying. It's like if all Kyogres are modest, you will outspeed it in Sun.
but if it's timid, sorry, you're dead.
Yeah. Also note is if that's the case, then if Tailwind's gone, you will still outspeed it at max.
Can you take the Dynamax off on Venusaur? Cool, we don't live a hailstorm.
But we live in Ice Beam.
Can we... Oh, Grass Knot's not enough. Awkward. But instead of Grass Knot, we can change that to Leaf Storm.
Yeah, probably.
And Leaf Storm should be enough.
Not Leaf Blade.
That's really close. A for effort, Carl.
Leaf Storm's really
Oh.
close. Is Frenzy Plant on this thing? Nope. Okay.
Just do Hyper Beam and then change it to Grass.
Or you can just change the power on Leaf Storm.
Look, man, that seems easier.
Frenzy Plant might pick it up.
What if we Dynamax in front of their face? That's with Leafs. That's... Huh.
A good note is if Tailwind's not up after we survive the first hailstorm, we get to Elko them. We get to pick it up because we're gonna be faster at that if that is set.
Weird.
Also, none of this was like with any kind of item on either of them. This could be like if it's specs. This blows people up, right?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, you're not in Dynamax. You don't. Oh, okay. So that still doesn't.
Do a ton.
That doesn't pick it up, which is the important part. It doesn't pick it up. It'll pick it up there.
Yeah, without Dynamax, it kind of wrecks your face. But
most of the time, if you just Dynamax Venusaur in front of Kyogre, you can survive the Ice Beam and then...
The big thing about Venusaur is you have Sludge Bomb for Xerneas, you have Leaf Storm and Frenzy Plant and Grass Knot, depending on what
you have a grass coverage.
You have grass coverage for both opposing Groudons and Kyogres, which is huge. I cannot stress you enough how much it actually does. And like, if you throw on a like Life Orb on this Venusaur for us, I just want to see how much this does. And out of Dynamax, that's the real thing. Yeah, like
even more.
Granted, that's a frenzy. That's a frenzy plant.
That's a frenzy plant, but that means Leaf Storm is going to be picking it up.
Grass Knot should.
Grass Knot.
I believe Grass Knot should.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah.
I wonder if it does it to Assault Vest Groudons. Probably not.
It's going to be close. Nope.
No, not quite.
Not quite.
But Grass Knot doesn't, but that means...
If we're modest, we have to roll.
But if it's Leaf Storm, it should. Not Blade.
Why is Leaf Blade even in this game?
Because it's alphabetical.
And then Frenzy Plant 100% picks it up.
Yep.
The play might be to move back to Frenzy Plant. Might be the play.
Worst case scenario, you could be the annoying Venusaur player and just put him to sleep.
Yeah, that's the other option. Just put him to sleep.
Venusaur is great, man.
Yep. Anyway, back to Groudon.
Yeah, that was the Groudon lesson.
Yep, that was it. Groudon is good.
Play Groudon. Play Venusaur. It beats up Zacian. It beats up Kyogre opposing Groudons. It beats up
Calyrex Ice. It just beats up everything.
Does Groudon get dark coverage?
I don't know.
Do we get like Crunch or anything weird?
Probably get Crunch. We might get Crunch. I don't see Crunch on here.
Just filter dark moves.
I don't think we do. We get Fling and Brutal Swing.
So what you're saying is we can Brutal Swing,
which
trigger our policy on our Metagross. It's gonna hurt, but it is an option.
No, we Fling Iron Ball.
Oh. No, why do that when we can just fling King's Rock, flinch them for a turn, and pick up the KO?
Ah.
We probably pick up the KO with Fling by itself.
I was about to say, yeah, we don't think we do bears. I don't really. It's like, as long as it's not like one power, I think we pick up that KO on.
Yeah, just fling a Pokeball at them.
So, we don't have Rayquaza on here. Rayquaza's probably not going to be as good as the rest of them.
It's too much ice coverage, man.
But, if Rayquaza, if the weather starts to get out of control, Rayquaza is probably the Pokemon you start putting on your teams as just like a secondary restricted, just to fight them. If you're not doing weather yourself, obviously.
I mean, Rayquaza won a world championship. Wolf played it, right? I believe that was Wolf's win back in 2016. I believe he played Mega Ray.
I don't know. Moving on to Gen 5 stuff here. We have Kyurem White specifically just because it's 170 special attack and like an okay speed tier. Like 95 means you outspeed a chunk of things, but not everything. But having access to like Freeze Dry, Draco Meteor, and like Flash Cannon, or in this case, you also have Fusion Flare, which is a fire type move. Having access to Ice Dragon and Fire covers a lot. Ice Dragon Steel also covers a lot, so it's just like whatever you want in that last slot. But Kyurem White is cool. Kyurem Black is kind of meh.
Not great. Put it simply, it's not great.
Like, they're both Dragon Ice types, right? When Kyurem White, Kyurem Black, they're both Dragon Ice?
Yes.
Okay.
They keep Kyurem's typing, but they gain coverage from whatever type it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which Electric isn't that. Electric's okay, but like, are you worried about water types and flying types to begin with on your Dragon Ice type? Probably not.
So he won in 13, it looks like. No, what year is this? 2016, I was correct. And it was Kyogre Mega Ray.
Moving from 5 to 7.
Focus Sash Mega Ray. Because ice coverage is really good, man.
Yep. Necrozma Duskmane here is the big one I want to talk about because everything you talk about Necrozma Duskmane can probably apply to Solgaleo. They kind of do the same thing.
Solgaleo is slower?
I don't know. No, it's faster.
Sick.
Solgaleo is 20 points faster than Necrozma.
Oh, good lord. I didn't realize it was
77 versus 97.
Dang.
I believe both Lunala and Solgaleo are 97. Where are you, Lunala? Yeah,
yep,
both 97. Anyway, Necrozma Duskmane here is the good one of the bunch because Prism Armor and...
Well, they both have Prism Armor.
Kinda.
Do they not?
They both do the same thing. It's like Prism Armor is just like does whatever, but you're also 4 times weak to dark. So
yeah,
it's the Prism Armor here doesn't do anything.
Well, you know,
you're instead of taking 400%, you're taking 300%. Well, anything over 100%, you're still dead. Whereas Necrozma Dusk doesn't have any of those 4 times weaknesses. So we actually get to do more with it. We're also just a little bit bulkier, and we're physical attacker instead of special attacker, which is unique for psychic types a lot of the time. I think Metagross is this is like upgraded Metagross. I feel like works better in Trick Room. Has access to better Steel type and Psychic type moves. Sunsteel Strike and Photon Geyser are insane for just like actual coverage. Slapped Earthquake on here, I think, to beat opposing Zacian is what we talked about. Right?
Yes.
I'm not even sure how much damage that does to it, but I'm pretty sure at +2 you can just blow up anything.
Yeah, probably.
And then we slap Trick Room on here. Trick Room turns into Protect, but means you can set your own Trick Room if necessary. A lot of the Pokemon that have Trick Room that want it for these restricteds, usually that's like, because Dynamax means you can just safely run this Trick Room, and then you get to go and just do it. You set it up turn 1, and then you can Dynamax and just clap them. But a Necrozma Dusk is definitely something to think about when it comes to just like Trick Room teams. It's not the greatest under Trick Room at 77. Min speed is 73.
But when you're comparing it to all the other legendaries,
like 95s,
90 and 95s, like
it's fine.
Yeah, and then you get Calyrex Shadow, which is 150.
Max speed Calyrex Shadow gets to
a lot.
22.
Yeah.
Not quite Regieleki, but
why though?
Why? You
why?
gotta keep up with Zacian. You gotta be able to outspeed Zacian. For those that may not know, Zacian, Jolly Zacian gets to 220, Calyrex Shadow gets to 222, and then Regieleki outspeeds everybody.
And goes Electroweb you. Get over it.
Get him. Calyrex Shadow, this is the one that's just like, you can run the Psychic Ghost and probably be fine. Just pray to God no one has Sucker Punch.
And if they do, sorry, you're dead.
You have base 80 defense. You're probably dead to that. Especially if it's Yveltal. Like, Yveltal kills you every time. This is like
Yveltal looks at you and you die.
Yeah. It
snarls and you die.
Yeah.
That one's probably a little exaggerated, but not by much.
Like Incineroar, Raikou, Suicune, Entei, all those Pokemon that just get Snarl that can be bulky in front of this thing are going to be really good against it.
Yep.
Like, cool, you got to Astral Barrage and spread damage.
Good thing I protected and then snarled you, and now you're not doing any damage next turn.
Like, good thing I have Sucker Punch.
Or I play Eliki and I set up screens in front of you.
That's why this set specifically has Focus Sash, is just so we don't die to Sucker Punch immediately. Dark Pulse or Astral Barrage, Expanding Force, and Protect.
Astral Barrage is Ghost, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Again, I haven't played with these, so like I can't remember what typing their signature moves are. I thought it was the secondary type.
So yeah, the Psychic type is the Calyrex part, but the signature moves are of the horses.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I couldn't remember. I knew it was related to the horses, but I wasn't entirely sure. Also, the fact that you have 2 abilities is kind of busted.
Yeah, Unnerve and Grim Day. You can't eat berries and go to a special attack boost every time I get a KO. Other side of the coin, we have Calyrex Ice. 165 attack.
You know, just
nothing to sneeze at.
Casual 165 attack, 150 defense. You know, no big deal.
130 special defense.
No big deal.
Like, who needs Assault Vest? What's an Assault Vest?
Good lord. Assault Vest puts this thing to 225 with no investment.
Yeah, what's an Assault Vest?
Dude, that's Dusclops level of bulk.
Yeah, I know. With no investment. Whoever made Calyrex is just, like,
why?
It's Calyrex Ice form, like just Glastrier in general. Why? Why is this a thing? Like, you knew going into this design that if we can put all these stats and everything else, but then just make it terrible speed. Trick Room's a thing.
Are you ready for them to be like, oh yeah, Calyrex forms are banned. Calyrex is a mythical.
I'm gonna be honest, I would not be surprised.
I would not be against it. Also, Rusted Sword on Zacian is banned.
Yeah, that would make me happy.
You can have Life Orb or Choice Band. You can't have Rusted Sword.
That's fine as long as Intrepid Sword. As long as we don't get to trigger Intrepid Sword. Zacian is the scary Pokemon here, being the anti-Dynamax target Pokemon.
Does Eternatus do anything? Like, does it do anything worth talking about?
It's Poison Dragon, so you're not blown out by fairy types, but you're weak to ground and psychic. But you probably get some kind of dark type coverage, so you're not worried about the psychic types too much.
Do we?
I would assume a Max Bindstorm from a Calyrex Shadow probably really hurts.
Yeah, probably.
Either way, Behemoth Blade is insane.
It's Dynamax absurd.
Format. Isn't Dynamax Cannon something similar for Eternatus?
It is, yes.
Okay.
It is a base 100 special move that doubles damage if they are Dynamax.
Dragon type?
Yep. So it's a base 200 and it's a base 300 move because of stab that has 100 accuracy that just blows them up. The downside is Eternatus only has pressure as an ability.
Yeah. Where in this situation, Zacian Crown has Intrepid Sword, so if it's holding the Rusted Sword, it goes to Crowned form. Intrepid Sword gives it a +1 to its attack, so it's 222 without being adamant at max 252. So at +1, you are essentially at 300 something. I can't do the math right now.
Dark coverage for Eternatus.
Fling.
Assurance, Brutal Swing, Payback. So no, we don't get dark coverage.
Assurance is fine.
Not on my special attacker, it ain't.
The Calyrex has 80 defense.
It's true.
It doesn't matter. I didn't even talk about the fact
I'm pretty sure we could Hyper Beam and it would die.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we could just hit anything and it'd probably die. Calyrex Shadow is not very bulky, but Zacian here, this was the scary one, and then they gave us Calyrex Shadow.
It's okay.
But, I'm not surprised anymore. Reggie, he's faster than all of them, so it's just, whatever.
Yeah.
Tailwind is so popular, speed dynamics change at whim is just,
Which, dude, I cannot stress enough how much I love.
Oh, that's so great. I hope they keep that. Dynamic speed changes is so great. It just changes the game, how the game is played.
I think it was Gen 6. When you Mega Evolved, you didn't get your changes to your stats until the following turn. It was something weird like that. I know...
That's weird.
I know with, Sableye and Bayonet, I think it was specifically Bayonet because you gained Prankster. You didn't gain Prankster until the following turn. Trust me, man. It's as weird as it sounds.
I'm glad I didn't play back then. I was going to be mad.
You have a base 165 attack with Prankster, so you just sucker punched him that turn instead.
Zacian Crown here, we put Crunch on it just to fight opposing Calyrexes.
Why not? Yeah.
Like I said, you can do Ice Fang if you're worried about Groudon. It doesn't do a ton, but
it does do a good chunk, but not as much as we need it to. You also
have
get Sacred Sword.
You have Sacred Sword, Wild Charge. I think you get Close Combat. Yeah, you have Close Combat.
Sacred Sword is probably better because against opposing Incineroar, I guess you go to neutral.
You go back to neutral.
Yeah, so Close Combat's still probably better.
But yeah, that's the GS stuff. Out of all of these, we'd like to know what your favorite legendary is. Question of the day here. If I had to pick one, just out of like favorites, I had Sapphire growing up, but I always liked Groudon more.
Oh, see, I was the other way around.
I liked the one I couldn't have.
Exactly. I had Ruby, so I always had Groudon. Just like, man, I want the whale. The whale's cool.
Don't get me wrong. I love Kyogre as a Pokemon, but if I had to pick a legendary to play with, I'm picking Groudon just because of what I can do with it.
I love the fact that our reasonings are literally the same, but in the opposite direction.
Yeah. I think Groudon's definitely going to be the scariest Pokemon.
I don't know about scariest, but I think it's definitely going to be very good.
It's the one you're going to have to... This is the one where you have to have an answer for Sun. Because the Kyogre Rain team isn't really like a Rain team. It's just like Kyogre plus Regieleki and Tritus. Like, this thing is Groudon Venusaur. This is scary all the time. Like, you got to make sure you outspeed Venusaur. Well, that means you have to run Timid on your Kyogres now.
Yep.
Which
means you're not picking up as many KOs,
like, just like, hope you can pick these up a lot of the time. So
I'm looking at Eternatus.
Uh-huh.
This thing has 2 signature moves.
Yeah.
Dynamax Cannon, which insane. Then it gets Eterna Beam, which is a base 160, 90 accuracy Hyper Beam. That's also Dragon type.
Neat.
Like, Dynamax Cannon is still better, though. Because you don't have that recovery, and you always hit.
But it's less damage against non-Dynamax targets.
True.
It's 150 versus 240.
Yes. Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, and Sludge Wave. Meteor Beam?
Power Herb Eternatus, go! We can't Dynamax Eternatus, can we?
No.
Okay. So Power Herb actually is fine.
Yes. Mystical Fire.
We can just Choice Specs it too.
Like, actually, though.
Like, just slap a Choice Specs on it. Just blow people up. That might be something to work on and look at. It might be something to look at.
Dragon Dance.
Meteor...
Recover.
I want to see... I have a question now. I want to see how much this does. Nope, that's not what I wanted. So let's see here. So, say we have Eternatus.
Yep.
+1 from Meteor Beam.
What are we blowing up?
I just want to see.
Well, it blows up Obama Snow, so that's good.
Cool.
Doesn't Oko Dynamaxed?
No. There's not a lot that Oko's Dynamax Glastrier. I'm going to be completely honest. There's not a lot.
Rhyperior would like a word, sir.
Rhyperior, Terrakion, all require weakness policy, though, or beat up justified. It all requires setup.
Which, to be fair, my setup is Dynamaxing in front of their Dynamax and living their hit. So, the downside is it's a roll, but the rolls that don't Oko it die to sand. So,
hope it's not goggles.
Oh.
So if we just if we don't do the power herb and we somehow get it to go off, yeah,
it's the same calc.
Yeah.
+1 is the same as Choice Specs, so
yeah.
How much does Dynamax Cannon do here instead, though? If we're Choice Specs. If we're Choice Specs.
Dynamax Cannon.
You're still at +1.
Yeah.
So not quite an Oko?
Nowhere near close.
That's still a lot. Just casually 80% to a Dynamax last year. That's disgusting.
Yeah, this Pokemon is gross.
What do we have that actually hits it super effectively? Is it just Meteor Beam?
Probably. Flamethrower.
Yeah, we do get Flamethrower.
I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to be enough. Yeah, I know it does less than Dynamax Cannon. If you're not Dynamax, though...
Meteor Beam does pick up the KO.
Flamethrower gets really, really close.
If you burn, they're dead.
Do you get Fire Blast? Or just Flamethrower?
Just Flamethrower.
Damn.
Really weird.
What the heck? Fun fact, no investment means Iso Crash isn't a KO. It's a roll. It's like a minimum roll. Like they have to roll the top end.
Well, to be fair,
Like they have to roll 216. It's the maximum.
that's to pick up the KO, but that's also not dying to hail.
Yeah.
Like you had to think you
Well,
can still
no.
die to
I'm
hail,
saying
too.
if
Oh,
Dynamax.
This is just
This
Icicle
is just
Crash.
Iso
Gotcha.
Crash. It doesn't pick up the
because
KO.
Max Hailstorm should pick up the KO.
Max
right?
Hailstorm 100% picks up the KO. Like every time.
Bang. Granted, again, zero investment, but got him.
Still got
dead.
it.
Look, man, I
Still get
tried.
there.
I tried.
It's just like, just fine, we'll see. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, picking Groudon, 100%. I wanted Groudon for Draft League. That was like my first pick, was Groudon. Groudon was probably one of the stronger ones right off the gate.
Did it get taken before?
Before I got to me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I believe it was Kyogre Groudon.
See, I had the first restricted bond off the board, I think.
The first 4 picks, or 5 picks were restricted. No, it was Kyogre, Groudon, and then I believe a G-Max went, and then Zacian went, so I had to pick Yveltal. I think that's it, though. I think that's all we got for the week. Anything else?
Yeah, a whole lot of nothing, man.
Get us out of here?
Sure. So, make sure you go and, if you haven't done already, if you're listening on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, ring the bell for notifications, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications when new stuff goes live, pound that like button, and like we said, go ahead and comment down below talking about your favorite potential restricted mon in this upcoming format that we know nothing about yet because it hasn't been existent. If you're not listening on YouTube, make sure you go over to YouTube, do all that same stuff I just said, because it really does help us out a ton. If you're listening on any of the audio sites, make sure if you're interested, it would mean so much to us. We are enabling listener support on Anchor, which is basically your way of subscribing to us. It's anywhere from like $1, $5, or $10 a month.
Yeah, I think that's what the rates are, which I'm not sure what percentages we get of anything, but
yeah, for
anything helps. $1 helps. No
for
dollars helps.
20
I don't
to
care.
25 cents a month, 20 or 25 cents an episode, it would mean a lot to us. Obviously it would help us get the website up and get merch started and all that stuff that people want us to do. So
They pulled our ad revenue. You may have noticed that there was no ad if you're listening to this on Anchor or anything like that. They pulled our ad.
which, whatever reason, who cares?
Yeah.
It'll be fine. But yeah, that would mean a lot to us if you would be in the position where you could donate to us. That would be fantastic.
That'd help us get everything going.
Past that, make sure you go and follow us on Twitter at LR Lessons, myself at CardinalNoble25, Carl at musical_33. Carl and I are both on Twitch. You can find both of us there at Mr. Missouri25 and at Musical. We stream irregularly. I'm going to work on that.
You're going to get regular.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get regular again.
I'm going to attempt to, trying to get 2 to 3 days a week if we can manage it. But, we'll figure that out when it happens.
We need to get a Littleroot Lessons channel just made up, but then we can't race.
Yeah.
Well, we can. It'd just be a weird setup.
Yeah, we'd make it work. Whatever. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. Discord. Make sure you come and join the Discord. That's always down in the show notes of the videos and of the YouTube videos, and the audio and all that stuff is always down below. So our Discord's great. I love all of them. They're fantastic people. And man, we have a ton of them on there, and there's always something being talked about all times of the day.
I wake up and there's 50 notifications from Discord. in the 6 hours I was asleep.
Like, all right, great. Let's see. Cool.
I literally at this point, I just swipe them away and I read them later.
It's like, whatever.
I'll read them when I can.
My morning ritual is wake up, see if I got pinged for anything, and if so, read those. Otherwise, all right.
Yeah,
these are not important right now. I'm good.
Those are the ones I check the most is when I get pinged.
Yep. So, I think that's actually it.
I think so.
Cool. All right, everyone. We'll be back next week. Have a good one. Peace.